This is Special Report.
Black holes are one of the strangest things in existence.
Neil Armstrong may have seen extraterrestrials on the moon.
When he spies a discernible shape.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You can deny all the things I've seen, all the things I've discovered, but not for much longer. Because too many others know what's happening out there. And no one, no government agency has jurisdiction over the truth.
Welcome, everybody, to Full Spectrum Universe. My name is Rob Yox. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please help us defeat the algorithm police. Share this out. Comment on the page itself. We have an excellent episode for you this evening. I've got two friends of mine coming through from all the way from Brazil, and we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to get into some really serious conversation, but also some lighthearted, fun conversation as well, which is actually the best because the dichotomy of both gives us a robust feel. And I'm welcoming you all to my universe. They are taking their spaceship all the way to Full Spectrum Universe, and we're going to get down to it. So while we get started, I'm going to read their bios very quickly. As you can see, we have Samuel and Michelle, and it's the Awakening Tribes. Awakening Tribes has been created at the end of 2021, November to be exact. They launched their YouTube channel at the beginning of November 2021, and the first idea of the Awakening Tribes came in 2017 and developed under the name Awakening Tribe in 2018, but abandoned the project and has been forgotten. In 2021, after several months in Brazil and crossing the road of Michelle, and Michelle is from Brazil with an indigenous family background, mother of two children, also Reiki practitioner, and Samuel, originally from France, born in Paris, and has been adopted by the USA in 2019. Father of four children, self-educated regarding the spiritual side. They are lifetime learners, pursuers of truth, knowledge through experience and research. They are alchemists interested in the life, magics, wizardry, and ancient Egyptian text and wisdom, and for sure, extraterrestrial life and history. Both started a new life chapter with a joint idea of creating Awakening Tribes. Their objective was to support sharing experiences and information that will be useful for the auditors, subscribers, friends, and during this nearly 7 months now, they have discovered various people that tremendously have helped them propel these ideas. From now, their objective is to maintain our fundamental idea of supporting others during this vital, precious great awakening that we are living since 2012. And this is only the beginning. They're looking to create a strong tribe with various people to exchange and provide experiences and knowledge to prepare for the new earth. So without further ado, let me bring up Samuel and Michelle. How are you guys?
Hello, tribes.
We are good. We are good. We have
Awesome.
a new invite. We have a new guest here.
That's awesome. Listen, animals will come to the screen when we're doing this because they feel the energies. The energies are up. We're having a great time. Animals love it. But I'm so glad you guys got to be here. We had a conversation, me and Samuel, a couple weeks back, and we were on the phone for almost an hour, and it was awesome. We bounced ideas off of each other. So I thought to myself, what better way to inaugurate Awakening Tribes and to bring you guys on, let people find out who you are so they can experience the knowledge that you guys really bring to the table. And, you know, I love what you do. I love the work that you've been doing so far, and I can't wait to see so much more from you guys. But let's start at the very beginning. I want to know, what was that moment for you two that made you think that something was maybe different than what you knew it to be, and this was kind of this propelling you into this awakening? What was that moment that you first realized that your calling was not a usual 9-to-5 routine and kind of doing this?
Yes.
So first, thank you for this beautiful opportunities to talk to you first and responding to your question. It's an interesting question because we have those questions for the past 2 interviews that we had, and it is not so simple because Michelle and I mean, she will explain after, but I don't believe that we have one period of, you start to understand what you have to do. Even now, we still be guided by the flow. I strongly think that it's an evolution, as the consciousness evolve and the awareness. I think, I mean, for me, it was an evolution. Like I said, in 2017, and I realized that a couple of days ago, I was searching on my email, and I realized that I created a PDF with Awakened Tribe. And I started to say that Michelle was working. I was saying, Michelle, look, it's crazy. I was not remembering it. And I started to read. And it's exactly what we are talking right now. And I will develop after for letting Michelle talk about herself. But this morning I had a conversation with someone that was beautiful, like the energy, everything. And we were talking about that. So that's why I understand that it's an evolution, constant evolution.
Maybe several awakenings.
Yes. It's a wave. It's a wave of, I mean, since kids, probably you too, you know that you're not fitting in this society as it is. So, but if we have to take, for me, if we have to take one piece, one great sparks, we were going to a lady that read card, the name Patricia, and she started to told us that we will create some things on YouTube, and it will be like a conversational relation, which we are doing right now since 3 weeks. We have weekly, interview and discussion, and it's phenomenal. So I will take these things that she opened the door for doing what we are doing right now.
Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
For me, I came from a Catholic family, but I was not like understand pretty well the Catholic system, and was like not feeling good with this. And I never had this kind of spiritual side on me, but I always feel that I was different from people, the way that I was used to think. So I tried in my whole life, try to fit me in the society that I was not. So, but I was not spiritual. I didn't understand pretty well what was going on. And all the time trying to fit me in the society. So I think 5 years that I really start to trying to find this path. And I started to, because my life was pretty well. I got divorced, and then I was kind of like in a new life, young, yeah. And then, okay, but I'm missing something inside me. And then I start to maybe spiritual things. So I tried to start studying something. And then I found Buddhism. And when I started to study Buddhism, it's starting to clear my mind. So this is how I was thinking all the time, and not like society used to think. So, and then I continue studying, and all the things are big door open to me, like cocreation, quantum science, and then just like waterfall. And it was amazing to me. And then I met this Viking lost here in Rio de Janeiro. And then the first time that we met each other, we are having a dinner, trying to, so, and then we start to have a conversation, deep conversation, and everything, we start to connect, like, I think like this, and boom. And then we start dating, and Now we created this. Now our new child.
That's incredible. You know, a lot of people they don't end up at this point in their journey with somebody new, which is amazing because you guys found each other in that awakening process. A
Mhm.
lot of people usually have a significant other or a boyfriend or girlfriend who isn't kind of on the same path like myself. I'm getting married in June, and my fiance, she's not into that side of life, I guess we could say, but I think it's incredible. And you guys are learning to grow as a unit, which is even more powerful, which is, you know, it transcends a lot of what the mundane, routine type of life really, it completely contradicts that. And I love that because I like to call myself the ultimate outsider. And that's because nobody on the inside ever saw what was really going on. It's only when you're on the outside do you really see what's happening, kind of that bird's eye view. That's where you find the truth. But you know, I love the fact that you guys do this together and you invest in it like that. I think it's incredible. And one of the things I kind of wanted to touch on today, and a little bit of it, was that consciousness and how it kind of evolves. You know, you start in one position, and let's say whether it's through religion, sometimes not, but even like you said, like Buddhism,
Mhm.
you found there was something inside of you that was almost missing, but you really didn't know it was missing until after the fact. I'm sure you just felt that hole. You said it wasn't complete, right? Doesn't feel complete. And then when you start to find your feet in spirituality, you start to really focus in on that hole. And then that hole starts to fill. And once
Mhm.
you fill that hole, it depends on what you fill it with. Of course, like myself, I do the research, and I'm sure, you know, I'm sure Sam does the same thing. Samuel, that he keeps going after that research because there's that need to know now.
Yes, yes.
It's not just a, you know, that's there. I accept it. It is what it is. It's changing that perception. And it's kind of what we were talking about backstage with the looking glass and how we're changing these timelines and we're creating this timeline, which is timeline prime, as I call it, which is the big timeline that now, you know, we're headed in the trajectory that basically where we want to be.
True.
And you know, so what has the research done for you two in the sense of that liberating feeling, you know, that kind of that free feeling when you get into that information?
You know, um, first of all, I was raised like this. So to me, like you said, and we were saying a couple of days ago, and I know Michelle is the same, but she's more experiencing the things. We will be more searching to comprehend what's going on, and she's more experiencing the things. So she watch a lot of things. She will more perceive on the, I will say, tactile. So yeah, like I said, I was raised like this on my way. My grandpa used to teach me a lot of things, how to observe things, how to think, how to analyze. Um, my mom was, you know, a worker, but she had this awakening too. She was when she was younger. Now it's another problem, but when she was younger, she was reading tarot. She told me about spirit. She truly believed about aliens, which was creating a tense discussion with my grandpa. So to me, from now that I'm with Michelle, I'm more experiencing, you know, because I'm more involved with magie and wizardry, not sorcery, but magie. So you need to experience more because I do believe that at a certain point of knowledge, and you absorb, but if you are not capable to perceive with your body and just not analyze with your mind, you don't go very far. You become unstable with the ego, because it's part of the game, and at the same time, when you make only experience, sometimes you get lost because you don't have explanation, and that's why we are together. We are balancing. I mean, she bring me a lot of things that I try to adapt, and sometimes it's a slap because you're like, no, I know it. But now you don't, because you didn't experience. So the wisdom is not complete. It's just knowledge. And knowledge without wisdom.
Wow, that's dangerous. So
Exactly.
it's like you're the operation and she's the application.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
figure out you're like the formula, and she's the one who applies it in that higher frequency to adjust the full bodied frequency between the two of you, which is really incredible. I mean that's exceptional. I think that's awesome.
And some things that it's more crazy is that Michelle is deeply inside the system because she's a programmer. She make program for a huge company, which we don't say the name, but she does programmation, and I see her working every day during the colleagues, blow up their mind. She solve issues crazy. I mean, when I just see the screen and my head is
like Matrix.
Yeah, it's invade of headache.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy because she does program, so it's a lot of things. And at the opposite, I learn the program. Like, for example, I'm deeply involved with Kabbalah and stuff like that to understand with Hebrew. And it's the same things. When you give the screen to someone, people are like, what the heck, with number and, matricial rotation. And the alchemy, it's complicated. But she does the same with the computer. And at the same time, in the non-mundane life, she experiences things without the knowledge of going to learn inside the book, which doesn't mean that she doesn't learn, because she has some books. But it's crazy how life brings you what you need at the perfect time. And most of us, we messed up. We don't see it. So we pass right next to this step saying, okay, I can progress. I can awaken more and being more alert about what is going on. But we are going so much and so quickly back to what we know that we don't experience those new behavioral program. And so we are repeating and repeating the same circle. And that's why we are happy. I don't know her. Maybe she's not happy to be with me.
I don't see that. Come on, no, she looks happy. She's here right now, right? She wouldn't have partaked if she wasn't. And that's not to cut you off, but that's one of the things that I think is really it's incredible that doing computer type of programming, you're setting the tone for the way the computer operates. So she must have a crazy insight into the political and social programming that we see all the time. And she understands the ones and zeros of how they're implementing it. I know she does. I can feel it already. And it's, that is something to be said too, because breaking that programming, she has the ability to build a different program back up, which is insightful in so many different levels.
Yes. And with me, as Sam said, I don't have time because I work a lot to study so much as him. But as when I start my spiritual path with some guidance, I start to meditate, start to breathe, doing some techniques. But I think it's opened a channel so fast to me, and I was not with the knowledge to understand. So I had some experience on this that it was so fast, and without the knowledge, without the time to study, I think I blocked something because I start to be scared with my experience. So no, this is so nowadays I'm starting to try to understand how I can unlock those things. So this is a balance again. He studied a lot, and I experimented too much. So we need to balance those things also.
But for rebounding on what she says, for giving you an example, Michelle have the capacity to experience astral travel. So, but somehow some things blocked her. So, in the technique of the group that I am, we discuss with. I don't want to say the name, but we experience. They teach us how to do astral travel during what we call the middle pillar. People will understand now. But just at the neophyte level, so you cleanse yourself and they teach you. So I arrive at the certain point with Michelle, we were discussing about that, and she was explaining this kind of, I will not say fear, because when she described the things, it's not fear, it's more, when you've been surprised and you don't really know what's going on. So it's not really fear, it's more uncomfort.
Yeah, yes.
But during these rituals, you learn how to manage, and they explain to you. So you don't have fear, so we know when it's coming. And we were discussing about that a couple of months ago, I think, or weeks. And it's giving some explanation. That's why, like she says, it's a balance. We need, it's the tree of life. You need, when you reach a certain level, which is the last part, between, knowledge and intelligence, and you need absolutely to reach wisdom. And the wisdom can only be reached when you associate those two elements of knowledge and experience. So, and you only experience with heart. You can't experience with your brain. That's not possible. The brain just analyzes. So it's crazy. And the more we go through videos, the more the connection doesn't mean that we are all the time agreeing with each other's, but just for creating the script. When she read the script that I wrote, she corrects things that if she didn't correct, many people will not understand, because sometimes
sometimes I needed to know some. I didn't get it. So, and then we need to adapt, because I need to feel the things for passing in the video what we think, what we did. So
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I think happened was the reason why Michelle opened up so fast to it is you guys are so comfortable with each other. You started to vibrate at the same frequency. And whether she was, you probably weren't used to it at that point, even though you had been doing it, but now you've become aware of that synchronicity and that vibration. And you were open to all of it because Samuel was already opening to it, so he kind of guided you into that area, that consciousness area. And that's why that first time you were taken back, like, whoa, that's a lot. How am I supposed to figure all this out? You have to use your discernment while doing that to try and create that, what that means for you. It doesn't mean anything until you actually become aware of it, right? So you were doing that the whole time, but then you became aware of doing it. And that's when the mechanics came in, like, wait a minute, what did I just do? Is this safe? Is it not safe? Am I in the right place? Am I not in the right place? Did I go too far this time? Did I not go far enough? And that's kind of like that social shedding that you do, where it's like you just got to be there. That awareness is everything, right?
But I think it's where, we talk about us, but when we take a bigger pictures, it is, it's my own vision and perception. This is where the humanity is going. That means we will all have this kind of relation of frequency. Doesn't mean to go deeper in the relationship, but like when we got together on the phone, we don't know each other, but the connection of the interest start to plug. My grandpa used to say, when you want to communicate with another world, it's like a radio station. You can search forever the things. If the other one, the receptor, is not on the same megahertz, the rate, it's done.
It's static. It's all static, and nobody's saying anything. And you're like, okay. And that's one of the reasons why we were so comfortable. And Michelle, that's an amazing thing that happened to you too, because now you're aware with this awareness, and it's not. I think that the connection between you two has engaged both of you to excel at this research from two perspectives, and those two perspectives give you a greater understanding of each individual subject, which is incredible. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to ask you as well about the magic, and tell us what magic means to you. What is the magic and how you imply the magic?
You first.
Okay. You have. I will bring what said Laura Eisenhower in video that I watched, and because I think that she was resuming perfectly well what she was what I wanted to say and responding to your question. Magic is how you are able to interconnect and being aware of all the elements around you. That include the spirit. So for some people, spirit will be God. Some for other will be the universal, whatever. For me, it's the key, the vital force. For Michel, will be the universe, whatever. When you start to understand how to interact with those elements and how those elements interact with you and express themselves through you, then you start to be more connected with life. I mean, the real life, not the society life. And you start to realize that the magic is inside you, within you. You have the magic. So some people will say, yeah, but magic can make disappearing. This is distraction. It's a distraction. But those people that are able to prestidigitateur, like we said in French, they are creating an illusion. Because you focus on some things, they are able to make you thinking that some things disappear. But wait a minute, some people are real doing magic, meaning they are able to interconnect with your brain, like tarot reader, stuff like that. So which we call medium. For me, they are not medium. They are magician. They are wizard. They know how to cap the wave with your higher brain or your higher consciousness, your spirit, and they connect. And then you have the third magic, which is the wizardry. So without talking about sorcery and black magic, low magic. So you have high magic and low magic. This is another question, which I don't think it's related to what you were asking. But for me, the first magic is life. The more you will connect with your higher consciousness, the more you will become a magician. Wizardry is another thing because you start to interact with the element, you start to invoke or banish those elements or planetary, or you go deeper in stuff. So which create situation that it's pretty funny. So you can cleanse your energy, you can do whatever you want when you really interact with the alchemy of life.
Yes, for me, I like to think more that you can manipulate the energy. I like co-creation, for example, the power that we have to think about, to feel, and sometimes verbalize, and then mixing those energy, you can create and we can manipulate the energy around us. So for me, it's more this that I experimentate. So as I said, I was not spiritual before, but somehow I knew how to do the things because in my whole life, all the doors were open all the time. When I wanted a job, I got a job. When I wanted all the time. And I was comparing my life with my friends and my friends just complaining about the things all the time. I said, why? I'm so lucky. Why all the time I'm able to get everything that I want? And my friends know. And I was just thinking that I was lucky. But when I started to spiritualize myself, I understood pretty well this thing. So now, because I all the time knew how to think, how to feel, because I like to experiment these things. If you get some not good experience to you, doesn't mean that it's bad. You are just experimenting the things. So I was not like a girl suffering because of the boyfriend or the friends. No, I was just enjoying my life. So this is how my life was a little bit different from others. And I understood just when I realized for me how the life is.
Michelle is constantly in a state of, some people will call that meditative state. I call that being on the moon. So sometimes, she's working, and we will come about a subject that she bring to me, and I think I talk about that on Facebook. And so she's working, and I'm like, hey, Michelle, because I don't call her Michelle, I have another name. And I'm like, hey, I just learned these things. And she's like, The next night, I'm starting to talk, and she said, did you told me that? And I'm like, yeah, yesterday we talked about it. And she's like, oh, okay. Couple of minutes after, I said, do you remember we talked about it, right? And she's like, no. So she's in perpetual meditative state.
Yeah. It's
what
happened
was
to me
yesterday,
a lot.
it's yesterday. It's not.
We are walking to the beach couple of minutes ago, and I said to him, sometimes I'm not here. I don't feel that I'm here. Sometimes I think I go to another place and come back.
I get that too. And I loved how you explained the magic too, because it's like everything has sentience, right? And being able to interconnect with that sentience kind of gives you that understanding of your surroundings. And when you're in tune with everything around you, again, that awareness opens up doors or portals, whatever we could call them, whatever we want, opens up the ability to perceive how they are and what they're doing. And that's also what you do with each other. And that's part of that resonant frequency between the two of you, where you both kind of, it doesn't matter if one of you's having a good day and the other one's having a bad day, and then you get with each other and it levels out and you kind of offset each other, which is incredible. So go ahead.
For sharing what you said, giving an example, a couple of days ago, I had a bad morning, like a bad morning.
I get those too.
Things was going well because I was letting myself experiencing, the negative part, the low vibration. So Michelle was with me, calm, peace, as usually. And, I started to blow up. I was like,
calm down. Calm down.
So it's a balance, because even I can calm quickly, I will experience the things, which I always let myself experiencing the emotion, because I analyze, I observe the things, and I make myself laughing. But what was interesting is, every single time that I was breathing, Michelle was like, no, but pay attention about how the things will go around you. And then we arrive at the office. I start to be so much annoyed by these things, by the noise of my mind, that I start to FUCK the paper, completely messed up the paper, even my name. I was like, what the heck?
You must have been so mad.
I was pissed, because nothing was going well.
Because of the frequency. So I when I was trying to say calm down, because I knew that everything will go bad.
Right.
Because the frequency was not good. So everything was terrible. I was like, and I could not say anything because he was blowing.
I was pissed. Pissed. It doesn't happen often.
No, yes.
But when I reach this point that people walk on my feet and it's not.
Oh, it's bad news. It happens to me all the time too. I don't get angry often, but when I do, everything annoys me. Everything gets to you at that point.
But what is pretty funny. So you transmute the things because you are aware of your mind. So after 2 hours, it was done.
Yes.
But what was funny is when I started to calm down, we started to talk about it, and I'm like, do you know what? Now that I'm calm, the person that was annoying me, it's not the person. I was letting the situation annoying me. The person was not in the things. Everything was going well, meaning all the document that I was making, the result, the outcome was so perfect that the person was like, finally, you know, we got the things right. And I'm like, you see, next time, don't bother
Yeah,
me.
yeah, I did it. I don't talk about the morning. Let's go. That's what So,
Exactly.
have you guys had contact and experience with extraterrestrials, ultra-dimensional, spirit? Tell us about some of your contact.
It's 1.5 hours, right?
Right, right.
You want to talk
You can-
about your experience? No, you don't.
No, yes, yes.
She have a good experience.
Yes. But so far I don't know what's happened. But if I can say, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think I got abducted.
Yeah,
That is
abducted. Yeah.
abducted. So as I said, when I start to experimentate the things, meditation state, I got so fast, and I start to feeling the things that I didn't know what was going on. Just after when I start to have the astral travel, that I a month after I understood what was happening, because a friend of mine of me told me. So one time I I wake up in the morning, and I used to work out in the mornings, and I used to got a lot of supplements. So in that time, and then okay, it was a regular day, and then I got my supplements, and I tried to get out of home, and then I start to feel bad, like want to vomit, headache. And okay, I wait a little bit more, try it again, get out. I was not able to open the door. And all the time that I wanted to get out of home, I start to feel bad. And then, okay, I will lay down a little bit in my bed, feeling better, and then go. And then I lay down in the fetal position, just to try to rest a little bit. And then suddenly, I start to feeling my body shaking. And then I was not able anymore to move my body. And then I felt falling, but I think I was going up. And then I appear in a kind of room, white room, with light in the top. And I was in a dog position. And then there, it was empty. No one was there. I was in a dog position, just start to vomiting in that place. And then the same time that I was feeling me doing it, I was aware that I was laying down in my bed. And I started to try to come back. You start to feel this need, and you are not able. So when I was vomiting, things that I was vomiting, all the supplements that I got, I felt some hand getting inside me through my mouth and pushing more things inside me. And I vomited a lot in that place. So suddenly I fall in the floor, and I start to cry a lot. And at the same time, crying in my bed. I think that I was in the two places at the same time. So, and then I was crying, and I started to call a mom that is not my mom in this physical life. It was someone that I don't know. I have no idea. But I started to call, mom. I'm in here, mom, come. But it's not my mom in this physical life. So, and then I got to the body again, and I was crying in my bed. And I stay, I think, 30 minutes, continue crying, feeling all the sensations, feeling the flu because I vomit a lot, feeling the missing someone that I don't know who is. And this is my first. I don't know if I got abducted. I have no idea.
There's so many things that we could say that could be a potential of what, seeing somebody who you didn't know but knew was a motherly figure could have been a projection of a past life. or somebody that's related to you in that sense of a motherly figure that you just haven't encountered. I mean, there's so much we could go on. That's wild. You should write all of it down and break it down by section and kind of figure out maybe what that means to you, or meditate on each moment of it and
Ah,
really, really go ahead.
just one more information. After this, I took all my supplements, and
Right in the
I
garbage.
was not able to get this anymore. And then I nowadays I'm vegetarian. In that time I was eating meat, but I have kind of the same situation that I cut the meats. I don't eat any animal nowadays. And couple of months ago, I had another experience that because I, as I said, starting to happen so much things with me that I lock. For example, I sometimes I want to meditate, but I feel that I don't want because I start to hearing voice, someone talk to me, and then I don't know who he is. So
We dreamed for joining what she says. She had a dream a couple of months ago. She was dreaming about a very specific and very detailed person, like entities or. And a couple of weeks ago, we started to discuss, and I dreamed the same night. She never described the guy that she was seeing in this specific dream. So I started to talk with her about my dream, because the dream was, I don't usually remember my dream. I don't know where I'm going, but this time the dream was so detailed that I was even smelling the odor of people, the perfume and plants, and it was crazy. And I start to describe this guy that was face of me. And Michelle, usually, she's all the time silent and on the moon. But this time she was looking at me like open mouth, like, and I was like, what's going on? And she said, you remember the guys in the dream? It's the same clothes, same. We described the same
person.
things. It was crazy.
So before you even said it, she knew that you had seen that person in the dream?
Yeah.
No, yes. When I describe her, the guys
gotcha.
in my dream.
It was the same guy that appeared in my dream.
And I was not paying attention that the mouth was open, because, usually I talk to the tree and she's on the sky. So I know that I will have to repeat the story.
Right.
But this time she was open mouth, like,
no, and then we start, no, the guy they had is, yes,
same hair,
same he was same person that we described in the dream.
We call that the archangel, whatever.
We think, we discussed already that could be the same guy that we have.
A guide or.
Because it was the same person that we described together. So it was very funny.
That's wild. That's wild. I've had a dream. One of the most recent dreams that I had that was like that was I was in, it was so vivid. I was in some sort of just room, but it wasn't like a room, like, like a closed off room. It was just a room in a house. And I had been struggling with certain decisions, and I was like, thinking about it a lot. It was weighing heavy on me. And somebody who always used to support me like that was my grandfather when I was younger. And I fell asleep, and I wouldn't have noticed him if I didn't look directly at him, because he was in a Santa Claus suit. And I don't know why he came to me in a Santa Claus suit, but he went to walk past me. And I looked and I said, wait a minute. I said, Grandpa, stop. And I hugged him. And I told him I missed him, and I like embraced him in a hug really tight. I was crying in a dream, and I woke up crying. And I didn't understand why he came to me as Santa Claus, and that's in that way. And I told my mother about it and my godmother, and they said that was your grandfather's favorite thing to do. He used to dress up as Santa Claus go to this lake where all these kids would be, and he would be Santa Claus for winter and let them sit on his lap and ask him what they want and come on the fire truck and all that. And I remember it, but I didn't remember it like as if I was to see him. Why would I think of him in that way? I saw him every day in the way that he was normally. Why would he come like that? Because he's in his happy place, and that's what he
Yes,
looks
yes.
like in his happy place. And he was trying to give me a message. Now, I've tried to kind of get back to that dream state, and it's been very difficult, and I haven't been able to replicate it. But it was so vivid. I was in tears, shaking when I woke up, but I was still just laying down.
Yeah.
Just, just like Michelle, just still laying down. But I was there, and I know he was visiting me, and I'm not one to see past the veil like that. But there was that moment that I could see past it. It was really a wild experience. It
It's
changes you.
Yeah. It is change. You have techniques that you learn in Magi to call spirit. Not necessarily bad spirit, because you know, when you open connection with those people, you know you need to open the door, but you need to close the door because you never know what kind of entities you will bring. But it's funny because not that far ago I learned techniques and I use during the night, and I know that when I sleep sometimes I can interact with my grandpa the same, because he still be the guide. But when we interact with those entities, whatever it is, because we don't have the clear explanation, it's like you say, it's wild, but it's changing our perception of things, and it's difficult because the society don't really talk about it. And even when they are interested, you know, it's behind the like said Sandra, it was behind the backyard.
Right.
But what we can observe is the fact that the consciousness raised. Even some people don't see it, but you can see that the awareness start to be like more accurate. I truly believe that we will reconnect with our ancestor, our past life, our real information inside the DNA, and we are pioneers somehow to be the transition between the past time to the new time. That's why we said that we will pass in 5D or whatever the thing is. To me, it's just a transition to a frequency to another frequency. People want to call that 4D, 5D, whatever. To me, it's just a transition. We will never come back to where we were before, like, you know, 90s, 80s. For me, was the best time. But now we are living a period that the new generation will never knew. And for them, talking to spirit will become natural. For us, it still be like, wow, okay, it's weird. But I mean, this morning I was interacting with a shaman and the beautiful person, and we were talking about entities. I was asking her how she deal with. For her, it's natural things. You know, she just opened the door. Hey, you want a coffee? And that's it. But I mean, you need to be precautious because you can interact with a wrong spirit, which is low frequency, and take the appearance through your ego because you are weak to appearance of someone that or beloved one, and it's not. So they will come inside your brain and fuck you up. But I mean, all those experiences are quite interesting for progressing, and I do believe that it is made by purpose. It's guided by some things for us to wake up. Like, hey, wake up call, man.
I agree with you. And, I love what you said about a transition. We are the transitional phase. Our ancestors, I have a little bit of indigenous Native American in me, and they used to interact with spirit daily. They used to interact in the way of doing spirit walks, of communing and doing ceremony and initiating into the sentience of the land that they were so heavily invested in. And then somewhere down that line, we kind of went away from that as a society, and I think a lot of that had to do with feudalism and colonialism, all that good crazy stuff. But now we're getting to this point where we're getting back there, and I think that one of the reasons why I'm so invested in indigenous studies is because I feel that our future involves some of that past heritage and that past application of how they used to interact with their surroundings, or that magic, just to bring it
Yes.
full circle. You know, their magic is the way that we kind of create this future that is harmonious with one another and symbiotic with the planet, and being in our relationship with the planet is, you know, we're tethered together, and we have to be able to facilitate that tethering without doing
Yes.
harm. And I think that, you know, you're right, we're in that transition phase that, you know, that our ancestors wrote on cave walls to tell us that there was more than what you see just being an individual.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
more to life. And now we are doing the same, but in a different way on the internet, creating databases, really putting together works of relic that we can pass that to that legacy
Mhm.
and build their foundation in a way that they'll never have to be part of that lower vibration ever again.
No, no, that's why I said we are, for me, pioneer to this new, if I may say, concept. But it's not a concept; it's a consciousness. I mean, people need to understand that it's a fact. It's not a delirium of some people smoking weed or whatever. It is a fact. Not doesn't mean that people smoke weed. They are,
Right.
but we are at the point that some reality, some truth about our past, about who we are or what we are, if I may say, who we are is only the society. We have a false identity that we keep repeating in our video, that it's freaking annoying. It is annoying. People are all the time in conflict with themselves, with others. You open the TV, turn off the TV. You know, yesterday we were, no, 2 days ago, we were watching Captain Fantastic. Wonderful video. But you show this video to this movie to most of the people, they will not understand. They will judge. They will be in low frequency, but they don't understand that our true nature is to interact with the elements. So that's why you said the indigenous knew, and they had so much wisdom that if we really dig a little bit, not too much, just in Brazil. I mean, I will jump on what Michel bring a couple of days ago. This guy that make research in the Amazon, which correspond of what is his name, Brian Hancock or Graham Hancock, that talk about the research that he found in Amazonia, that they find ancient cities, literally, with tunnel and stuff like that. You talk about most of the people, they will be like, that's bull crap. Tomorrow I need to go work and make my check because I need,
Yeah, but
to
now
survive.
they have proof already. They can prove that it exists as a city under the Amazon.
But Graham Hancock on the Joe Rogan, it's one of my target because the guy is wild. He interact with Graham Hancock, which is a serious, he's not a delirium scientist that we can learn, or listen on internet. The guys make a real research. And when you listen to him, it's reasoning. It's not, oh man, this guy is weird. No, what he says, the word that he used. And he explained that they use a technology for scanning the ground like we were doing.
The LiDAR. It's called LiDAR.
Exactly. To scan IDs and stuff like that, bad experience. And they found the cities, and they found a lot of stuff. I mean, they find pyramids in the freaking middle of Amazonia. So we don't know our histories. What is in the book that we learn at school, it's a lie. It's just a lie. It's just common sense. I mean, you don't need to be a scientist or a genius for understanding that. I mean, since I'm a kid, my grandpa used to tell me, read a book, read another one, read the opposite, because like this you will have a balance of a knowledge of what was going on in the past. So
I agree. I agree. And we are waking up from that great deception, and that's part of that relearning of these stories and these civilizations that we didn't have any knowledge about. And I'm sure that there are some people who know about these places, they just don't want others to know. And that's part of the information kind of being the activation. So we're coming up on like the last 5 minutes of the show. So what I want to do is I want to give you the 5 minutes to tell us, where is Awakening Tribes going, and what can we expect from you in the future?
you want to do it?
Yes, I can begin.
Yeah, you go on that.
No, yeah, for me, the main objective is to awake the power of the humanity, trying to let them get the power again, to understand how beautiful we are, and trying to know who they are. So you.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I will reach what she says. We have this burning desire to create, a retreat center, not just for people resting, but also for working. This morning, the conversation with this person was about the retreat center, and we agree on the fact that when people go on the retreat center, usually they think that they will rest. They will not. Because when you work on your higher self, it's asking to work very hard on your shadow. And connecting with your higher self, it's easy when you don't have this veil of false identities. So our main things, like she says, is awake helping, because it's a choice for people to awaken or not. But at a certain time, they will not have choice. Some things will occur soon that we think that will awaken them. And we want to create this retreat center to help support people, whatever the issues that you have. Nobody can judge. We are not on their place for doing that, on their shoes, but also creating a program for new generation with ancient knowledge. I mean, actually, I work for regrouping people like you, like Sandra McAleese, and other people that we will have probably interview with. This marvelous lady this morning that I think we will have more connection with on interview. I don't want to release the name now, but to create these tribes of people having the knowledge of the past time, like we were saying, for helping people to transit inside and gently, because it will not be gentle. We can see that right now. It's not gentle for many people. And this transition will be smoother, and the new generation will have the technology, not just the phone, but the technology within them that will be awakened to transmit those things, not just on the cave or on the book, but verbally, energetically, and creating this aura for the consciousness of the world and even the universe, because we are all connected.
I love that vision, and now that you've said it, we're going to hold you to it. So I think that you guys have an amazing future ahead of you. And anybody who hasn't subscribed to their channel, I've put it in the chat. It's also under the description underneath this video. I love the work you're doing. I love how we connect. I look forward to working more with you in the future and remaining friends and talking. I think it's been really a lot of fun to bounce back and forth with you and really kind of cultivate ideas. And I think that we are headed for this moment. And I know we've passed a few of these thresholds already where people are waking up, but I think in our near future, say 5 to 10 years, I think we're going to see the realization of the visualizations that we have now and creating that next step for humanity. And I think it's all going to come to fruition. And I really think that people like ourselves are cultivating these communities and bringing those communities together to be part of a broader community. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for coming on. It's been absolutely amazing.
Thanks to you, Rob.
You guys are great.
all the help that we got from you, from other people that really have an interest on what we are doing and connect, because it's not just about interest, it's the connection. I mean, we are very grateful on this, and we enjoy it. We enjoy it.
I have a ton of gratitude for our paths crossing and being able to communicate with you guys and have these types of conversations. So, with that being said, I'm going to shut down the show. Guys, if you haven't shared this out, please give it a like, give it a comment so we can disrupt the algorithms. The thought police are out there. They want to hamper our message, but we're not going to let them. That's not what we do. We support each other. We love each other. And, it's going to be, the future is what we make it. The information is the activation, and we are the ones that we've been waiting for. So with that being said, my name is Rob Yox. That's Samuel, Michelle, Awakening Tribes. Go to their YouTube channel, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time around.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.